To improve your posture, you need to strengthen your core, but it can be really difficult to know which exercises are safe and which ones are not for S-curve scoliosis. In this video, I want to show you an easy Pilates routine that is safe to do for S-curve scoliosis and that will strengthen your core to support your posture. After the practice, make sure to download the free posture check workbook, which you will find in the description below, and this is going to help you get even more specific with your exercises and tackle those imbalances. So we're going to come to lying down on the floor, and we want to be in this position as symmetrical as possible. So let's start from the feet. So even before you start to lie down, just making sure that your feet are hip distance apart and that they are parallel. So what sometimes happens with an S-curve especially is that one foot tends to turn out. So we're just going to make sure that this doesn't happen, that we're sitting in the middle of our yoga mat. And then let's see if we can come down as symmetrical as possible. So you could just come on to your elbows, pause for a moment, maybe shuffling the bottom a little bit closer towards the feet, and then lying yourself all the way down. So we're already creating a little bit more symmetry when we're lying down. So then when you look up, you should see that your hips are centered, that they're not rotated and they're not turned. Good. Then from there, we're just going to wait for a moment or two to allow the body to settle down into the ground, relaxing the shoulders. And then this is important. So we do want to wait a little bit because we want to know if we're kind of going automatically into our specific pattern and we start kind of rolling the hips over to one side or the other. So in my case right now, I feel quite centered. Actually, sometimes I do feel like I'm rolling over to my left side towards my lumbar curve, but I don't feel this right now. If you do, you could wedge something underneath the convex side. So if you've got a left lumbar, right thoracic curve, I would bring something underneath that left curvature here. Good, and then we just want to take care and notice what's happening in the shoulders. So especially if you've got a right thoracic curve, that might be a little bit more dominant. Your right shoulder might be popping up a little bit more. So very easy, what you could do is just simply bring your arm a little bit further away from the body and have the palm facing up. And just notice how this opens your shoulder. From there, we're going to bring the fingertips onto the front of the hips. And this is just to check that we're keeping the pelvis nice and level because we are going into our core stability work in a moment. So your job is to make sure that your hips are not moving from side to side when you start to move your legs. So when you're ready, we're just going to bring one knee out to the side. So you roll towards the outside edge of the foot and then slowly bring it back. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to roll to the outside edge of the foot, bring the knee out, and then slowly coming back. Good. So to make this a little bit more core intensive, we're also going to press down through the opposite foot. So the opposite leg that is just not moving is pressing down into the floor. So you should feel this nicely, especially if you move with your exhale. So we're going to exhale, press the foot down, bring that knee out, and then inhale to come back. Good. So once you are kind of certain, more or less, that you're not wobbling from side to side, that your hips stay nice and level, you can bring your arms back to this position where you had one arm down alongside the body and maybe the other arm slightly out to the side to open that shoulder on the side of the thoracic curve. Good, so we're going to keep going for another few rounds. See if you can consciously relax your shoulders while you're working on that core stability. Good. Nice. Let's do one more on each side, and then we're going to go into our scissor legs. So when you're ready, this time we're going to exhale and bring one leg up into tabletop position, and then inhale to bring the leg back down. So we always work on the exhale to lift the leg and inhale to come down. So what I want you to pay attention to with this one is that you're not rounding into your lower back to do this, and that you're not arching your lower back. So your back stays in a completely neutral position and you're just moving your leg up and down. So with S-curve, what sometimes happens is that you tend to round into your lumbar curve a little bit more. So this is what we're trying to avoid. Good, so let's challenge this a little bit more. We're going to do tabletop, reach the leg out, tabletop, and come back. So tabletop position with the leg, reach the leg out, come back into tabletop and down. Good. Let's keep going for just a few more rounds. So just challenging that stability, that core a little bit more. Good, let's finish this next round. And then from there, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop position. Now we're going to lift the second leg, but before you do, I want you to think about the front lower ribs drawing down, connecting down towards the top of the pelvis when you lift that second leg. This is when you're activating your upper abdominal muscles at the same time. And we're just going to hold this. We're allowing for the shoulders to be soft and relaxed. And this is challenging. So take a few breaths. See if you can really bring all your awareness to that core. That's where the work is happening. Good. To make this more challenging, all you need to do is just bring your legs a little bit further away. But I don't want this to be pulling into your lower back. I don't want the back to lift off the ground. And I also don't want it to round into the back, into the floor even more. So see where can you be when you're holding that neutral position. So maybe for you, if you're feeling a little bit stronger, maybe you're straightening your legs out. It feels a little bit much for me right now. So I'm going to just stay in this kind of in-between position here. And this is where you're taking responsibility for your back and work at the level that feels right for you. And over time, you will get stronger at this. Good. Let's take one more breath. And then from there, we're just going to release one leg and then release the other leg down. Take a nice inhale and exhale, and then just bring your knees in towards the chest. Have a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to roll over to the side and come up into all fours position. So in our all fours position, we've got the hands as wide as the shoulders. We've got the knees hip distance apart. And just for a moment, just do a little mini cat-cow. So just kind of ever so slightly rounding and arching the back, just to find that somewhere in between so that we don't get stuck in one specific pattern. Good. From there, we're going to come into our knee hovers, which is a great core strengthening exercise. So we're going to tuck our toes under. Now we're going to work against gravity. So you need to use your abdominal muscles and you need to think about pulling them in, pulling those front lower ribs slightly in so that we've got some great support when we come into this. Now, head and neck, let's think about the neck position. So neck is nice and long. Draw that shoulder blade down. If you've got a right thoracic curve, right shoulder back and down. Take an inhale and an exhale. We're just going to hover the knees off the ground. And we're going to hold it for a breath. A long inhale, long exhale. And then slowly coming down. Good. So this might feel challenging and it should be, because it's a core strengthening exercise. So again, the key to this is that you do it well. Then you don't have to do a lot of them, which is great news. So our practice gets shorter. So when you're ready, let's take a breath in, exhale. Let's hold. See if we can hold it for 2 breaths. So inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And then coming down. Good. Lovely. So this is how you can slowly start to build up your strength. And guess what? It's going to happen next. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. So let's try this. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift up. And then inhaling. 1, exhale. Inhaling 2. Exhale. Inhaling 3. And exhale. And then slowly coming down when you're ready. And let's give those hands a little shake. And let's give those shoulders a little roll here as well. Bring your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers, opening through the chest. Let's open that core. Let's open the abdominal area for a moment. And then releasing your hands. Doing standing Pilates exercises can also be really great for S-curve scoliosis, but there are just a few things that we need to consider. Watch this video on your screen right now, in which I'm going to show you what you can do today to improve your standing posture, which is going to help you in all your exercises such as Pilates, yoga, and any types of other exercise you might enjoy standing up.